Those are past adventures. There's a reason why those adventures stop. Those adventures stop at some point. And the reason why is they all died. Hi guys, today we're playing Leave It Alone. Just to give you guys an idea, this is the second recording of this. Unfortunately, the first recording glitched out so badly, it was unusable. Like, truly unusable. But yeah, I chose this game because I saw a TikTok of Queso like, oh, this is kind of actually interesting. I saw Gab Smolder cover it, and now Jacksepticeye, and I feel like I'm late to the game. I actually wanted to play a game that was cozy and good vibes, especially with all the craziness that's been going on with my schedule and everything like that. I kind of was like, you know what? Let me give myself a cozy game where there's not a lot going on, and I can just get stuff done. That's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to do a new game, and I'm going to try to beat my time. I did 4 hours the last version of the stream, so we'll see if I can beat 4 hours. All right. My head hurts so much. Okay. Fell into a coma yet another time, and Doc can't figure out why. Are we sure you're okay? How come there are so many leaves here again? Is this your heaven? Will I ever manage to clean up the cursed yard? Is this heaven or hell for you? Okay, maybe this is a horror game, because imagine if this is your hell, just cleaning up leaves. That, or it's your heaven, you're like, oh my gosh, it's my paradise. I get to just clean? Yay. I don't know, it's someone's heaven or hell. And you think that, oh yeah, I'm just in a coma and all that stuff, but then it's actually your own personal hell or heaven. Some people would count this as their own personal heaven. I could probably picture that. But in this case, I think that this is probably somebody's personal hell. And if it is yours, I am sorry. Pick up leaves and dump them one by one, or unlock the bag tying ability by cleaning up the entire porch and throwing it all away at once. Let the inlets do the heavy lifting. They suck up nearby leaves, convert them into sheck leaves. The in-game currency, use the rake or the leaf blower to herd the leaves in the inlet range, then watch your pockets grow. Oh my gosh. It's so... Oh my gosh, I'm like... I kind of love it. Oh, let me see this area. So this brings up the value. Movement speed. Sprint ability. Okay. We can't obviously sprint, but I want to see like what we got. Movement speed. I'm going to try to pick up from this side because I kind of want to like, oh my gosh, the leaf picking it up is so slow. So I had to re-record this entire thing. So I like 4 hours went down the train, because you guys know how my model glitches sometimes when I do the just chatting streams. Well, it glitched so hard that not only was my model glitching, the whole screen was glitching the entire video. And it looked fine on like Meld Studios, but it was not okay. So I had to just like give up on that. Oh my gosh, it's so slow. I forgot how slow it is. Am I able to? Yes. Fluid picker. That will help. I'm only gonna get a couple of upgrades. Okay. Let me see. How much for the rake? $7.49. Okay, so we need to upgrade our hands a bit. At least get all the base upgrades for the hands, so that way we can like get on with this. In a way, I can like just do this, and then I'm sorry if it looks crazy how I'm picking these up. I think it's faster if I just click it, but I'm like, I also don't want to like hurt my wrist at all. But yeah, so updates. I've been doing really good, you guys. Started taking my vitamin D medicine, and it actually makes me feel like a lot better. Surprisingly, who knew? Getting vitamin D and stuff that you would get from the sunshine would actually improve your mood and remove your sense of fatigue. Wow. Anyway, I am feeling a lot better. which I'm super happy about. On top of that, the other thing that I've been doing is I've been listening to a lot of musical theater lately. One thing I've been listening to has been like Hadestown. I've been listening to a lot of Hadestown lately. I love the music from Hadestown. I love the vibe. For anyone who's confused about what Hadestown is, it's basically the story of Orpheus and Eurydice from like Greek mythology. If you don't know, Eurydice dies. Spoiler alert. And not really a spoiler alert because the show leads with the fact that she is gonna die at the end of the story. So it's barely a spoiler alert. And it's 1,000 of years old story. But anyway, Eurydice dies. Orpheus is sad. Orpheus is a musician. So he is a sad musician now. So, sad musician decides, you know what? I'm going to go to the underworld to get my girlfriend back. He goes down to the underworld, tries to basically persuade the gods of the underworld, Hades and Persephone, to let him take Eurydice back to the land of the living. And so he goes and he tries. And they're like, yeah, I'm cool with the fact that you want to take your girlfriend back to the land of the living. We're fine with that. We're okay with that. But we do have a condition. You need to walk the entire strait back to the land of the living without looking your girlfriend in the face once. And the whole thing is that he doesn't know if Eurydice is following him. Like, the fates fill him with the sense of doubt of that Eurydice is following him. For all he knows, the gods are tricking him. He doesn't know if they're actually being truthful. So he goes and he walks the whole strait. He gets to the end, and right before the end, he turns around to see Eurydice was following him the entire time. And because he turned too early, she has to go back. And they are never able to see each other again. The whole story is a tragedy. But the music from it is so good. It's amazing. And I love the interpretation. I love the one thing I appreciate that Hadestown brings to the story, because it's a normal Greek myth. But let me get this upgrade. Dexterity, and I want greedy grasp. Maybe a little bit more. That way I can grab more. Oh, yes. Now we're making progress. I love the songs, the story. But what I love is also that because the story is meant to be a cycle, the narrator of the story is actually Hermes. And the whole framework of the show is it's a story he's told 1,000 times over. So which is very meta for the story in Broadway, because in Broadway you are doing the same show over and over and over again. So what makes it amazing is that canonically Hermes is literally telling the story over and over again, but in a sense, because he no longer remembers the faces of Eurydice and Orpheus, the face and the people in the story, and he doesn't remember their voices. He only remembers what he told them and what they had told him. They said anyone could play like Orpheus. Anybody could play Eurydice. It's a very like non-stuck role, and that's what I love about it. And the other thing I love about it also is that you have these amazing actors, right? My favorite interpretation of it is actually Jack Wolf's interpretation of Orpheus, because Orpheus, his Orpheus, what he did in his run was his Orpheus knows that is in a time loop. So every single time he's he goes through the time loop, and his interpretation, he knows how the story ends. He knows that he doesn't get Eurydice, but every single time he's trying to go and save her. And the way he looks at her throughout the show is not of someone that is madly in love with someone for the first time. It's someone that has lost somebody and is finally getting a chance to like be with them, but is going through the same pattern over again. And that's the tragedy of it, is that no matter what he does, he's going to lose Eurydice. He's not gonna make it. No matter what he does. And that's the tragedy of Hadestown. And it's so beautiful. I love it. I love that about it. And I love his interpretation is just so satisfying and so interesting. And I've seen Jack Wolf in other shows. Another show that I also think he's interesting in is Next to Normal, which I can't even explain the plot of that one. That one is a show where, like, if you're a normal person watching the show, you will not understand Next to Normal. You will not. You'll be like, why is a newborn baby, like, also a teenage child, and also he's dead at the same time? It's very confusing. Like, the show is fairly confusing. If you're someone that understands a little bit of theater, you're gonna understand why they would have to frame it that way. But someone that's coming into theater, that is not the show I would ever recommend. Next to Normal is not one where I would recommend it to someone that's like a first-time theater goer. Like, it's definitely not for people that are just like, oh yeah, this is my first run into theater, right? It's not. Similar one where I wouldn't say it doesn't belong on the list of first time shows, don't get me wrong, but I feel like if you're someone that, if it was on the list of shows that, if someone was given a list of shows of what would be the first ones to watch to get them into theater, right? And you only had like a couple of shows to show them, right? Or even one. Ride the Cyclone is not on that. Ride the Cyclone is definitely not on that one because not because it's a bad show, it's a phenomenal show. Ride the Cyclone is really good, along with, there's a bunch of other shows where I'm like, yeah, they're really good. But the one I would suggest to anyone, if you're someone that you want to get into musical theater specifically, one show I would suggest, check out Into the Woods. Into the Woods is a Sondheim classic. It's so good. My favorite thing about it is just the musical. Like I said, the musical genius of Sondheim is like, you guys don't know I'm such a theater nerd. Like, I am a musical theater nerd, and I'm also, I'm a nerd in general, but I'm a music theater nerd, but I'm also a musical theory nerd. And Sondheim is so smart with how he, like, writes music. Like, it's amazing what he has done. Because what Sondheim does in it is Into the Woods is a show where it's fairy tale characters, right? You get to see them get their happily ever after, but then he shows what happens after happily ever after. The whole point of the show is having these characters accept the responsibilities of their actions. They accept the consequences of their actions. They have to be responsible. They have to be, he's holding them accountable for what they have done. So, like, for example, he's holding Cinderella accountable for the fact that she is indecisive. She doesn't want to make a choice. So what she does, she lets the prince choose. She goes and leaves her slipper there, and then he's the one that decides whether he wants to pick it out of the concrete or not, you know? Or, for example, Red Riding Hood is a kleptomaniac that doesn't want to listen to anybody. And she also lies to everybody as well. So she's terrible. But he holds her accountable for the fact that she's a horrible person. Then there is Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk. He gets the beans and he climbs up the beanstalk and he steals from the giant that was nothing but nice to him. But just because his family's in poverty, so they really need that money. But his ignorance that these people, like, cared for him. Like, he could have had an easy life with these giants. Not easy, but these giants would have taken care of him and he would have been fine. Oh, it's 700, geez. Okay, let me upgrade my grasp. I want greedy grasp. Dexterity. Okay. Can I get a bigger bag? Yes, I can. Okay, but yeah, so he steals. The baker and his wife, the baker runs away from his problems. Like, he doesn't actually face his problems, and he actually doesn't do anything, while his wife has severe adultery and infidelity issues. Each character, like, what I'm pointing out is each character is not good in any stance, right? They have something wrong with them. But the whole point is they're making wishes because they believe wishes will solve their problems. Even the witch, who in the story is technically right in the story, and she acknowledges she is technically right, she's also not the best person in the story. She also has to be held accountable for her own actions. And the whole story starts with, and how he keeps them all together musically, is that they all sing the same two notes, and it's called, ironically, not ironically, but the funniest thing is it's called the Bean Song. It's called the Bean Song because every single time they sing, they say, I wish. Two notes, I wish. They say, I wish. For every single time. And then whatever, right after what they say is whatever their wish is. And that melody of whatever comes after, the 5 notes that come after, are what is their want. And they're so, like, memorable. And even when they're not singing I wish, you hear the melody of da-da, 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 da-da-da-da-da-da. Or for Cinderella is like da-da, da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's very, like, it's very smart how he structures the show. Every song has the Bean Song except for 2 songs in the whole show. Basically, the first half of the show, these fairy tale characters go through the motions of their stories. So, like, Cinderella, she goes to the ball. She leaves the ball. She leaves the slippers. Prince Charming chases after her. He goes to her sisters. Her sisters cut off their toes and their heels. And Cinderella sends the birds to pluck their eyes out. And she goes off, has her happily ever after with the prince, and becomes the princess. Remember, Brothers Grimm version, not Disney version. Little Red Riding Hood. She goes out to get pastries for her grandmother. Her grandmother, she goes into the woods. There's a wolf in the woods. The wolf tries to entice her. Luckily, survives the encounter of the wolf eating her and her grandmother. But it ends up also becoming a thing where she never trusts anyone again. Like, she never trusts a single person ever again. She carries a switchblade the rest of the show, which is a vibe. They're going through the motions of their stories. Then Act 2 happens. Act 2 is the consequences of their story. Jack killed one of the giants when he went back down the beanstalk. The lady giant goes after Jack and try to kill Jack. Obviously, her stomping down on everyone in the fairy tale village kills a lot of people. So it becomes the debate of, do you hand over Jack, this kid that accidentally killed the giant's husband, and you hand him over and you're dooming him to death, or do you let more people die? The other thing is for Cinderella, she's like, okay, now I got what I want, but I'm like, I don't know what to do still. I'm not making choices. still. And the prince doesn't really care about me that much, really. I just happen to be the prettiest girl there at the moment. And for her, she's like, well, my choice wasn't great. Having him choose didn't work out. And so now, ooh, yay, I got the rake. I got the rake. Now I can rake. Yeah. I want to get this rake, and I'm going to go and put this in. What I will suggest, if you do plan to watch Into the Woods, don't watch the Disney version. Don't watch the Disney version. The live-action version sucks. It's not that the singers are bad. Like, Anna Kendrick doesn't do a bad job as Cinderella. James Corden doesn't do too bad as the baker. And Emily Blunt does really great as the baker's wife. Don't get me wrong. However, the 1990 version, which is the Pro Shot version, to give you an idea, if you listen to the live action version and then you go back and listen to the 1990 version, you're going to realize real quick, they're singing at rap level speeds, like Rap God speeds. Eminem's Rap God, yeah, has nothing on Sondheim. They're speaking because they're talk singing, but they're talk singing really, really fast, and they're doing it in pitch, which is a challenge. Like, I think that show is one of the more difficult shows anyone could do, but it's so simple. Like I said, it's a really good show. Please watch it. It's amazing. Okay, how much do I need? $3 for this one, so I can get Sprint. Yes, we're gonna do that. We're gonna try to get Sprint. I want Sprint. Is there anything here? Bag tying. Yes, we want bag tying. I want bag tying. Ooh! I forgot. No! Yes! Eee! It's smelly. He's in the garbage. I thought these were raccoons at first. They're actually squirrels. I don't know why my brain thinks raccoon when I see this. But apparently they're supposed to be squirrels. So, I found that out. Also, another thing I found out. Let me see. Anything? No. The pro strat in this game, you have to ideally get everything early. So, like, you do the mandatory areas first, and then you bag tie the stuff, but don't turn them in. Bag tie, but don't turn in. The only thing you're allowed to upgrade, you should upgrade, is your hands. I found that out. The hands are your most important thing. Because once you get your hands done and everything like that, I want to make sure I'm getting every single one of these. But yeah, once you get your hands fully, your hands are like the main important thing in this game. Even with the rake, you're not going to be able to push everything into the inlet. And also, I did find out whether or not, is it worth it to not do the inlets or not? You will still have enough money to do all the inlets and get all the upgrades. I did get all the upgrades the last time, and I had enough to buy the inlets if I wanted. So you can with this game. You can like go without it. Obviously, there's actually a achievement if you buy none of the inlets and you just like do the whole game just with the upgrades and bag tying and everything like that. Let me get this whole thing so I could get the bag tying thing. Because once I got bag tying, then this game actually starts going and rocketing off. Let me see. Okay. And also, I want to get that. I want to get the leaf blower. Leaf blower would be nice. One thing I noticed with this game, it doesn't operate like Crime Scene Cleaner. Something that I was like, man, that it's kind of Not that it's bad, but it doesn't, in Crime Scene Cleaner, if you moved the items to another section of the map, the area still counts as clean. Yay, bag tying. Yes. I got bag tying. So now, it starts. Okay, can I buy this? Yes, I can. Yes. Yes. You want? Me want this. Trying to beat my time. There we go. I want to get enough to buy a bigger bag, which I think the next upgrade's at 7? Let me see. Let me see. I can't wait to be able to sprint. Is that... Oh, I already have it. Yay, thank you. Still gotta get this, though. 50's gonna be a bit, but... it'll be so worth it. It'll be so worth it. But yeah, Pro Strat. Don't get the upgrades till you finished the sprinting and everything. Because everything becomes more valuable after you get all of the value achievements. Oh, my computer's starting to run it up. But yeah, going back to, like, again, like, I suggest Into the Woods, the 1990 or 1980 version. That one's the best one. You are definitely going to need subtitles. Definitely subtitles in closed captioning. Because you are not going to be able to understand their show. The show is very fast. Very fast. They talk very fast. They're very articulate. And it gets really complex at some point. But I highly suggest it. It's really good, and I love the message of that show. The whole point of the show is it's conveying that no one's actually good. No one's actually evil. There's no good and evil. Everybody's just trying to do the best that they can with what they've got. No one's perfect, essentially, but you have to do what's right with the choices you have, and you have to live with the choices you make, because unfortunately, good or bad, that choice is going to affect the rest of your life, essentially. And that's the idea of that show, is conveying that message. Also, don't talk down to children, because children understand more than you think they do. And that's also a really nice message as well. Now, if you're someone that loves horror and you don't mind that it's going to be a musical, highly suggest go for Sweeney Todd. Sweeney Todd, the live action's not bad. Actually, it's approved by Sondheim. It's also another Sondheim classic. It's very good. Highly suggest it. It's good. That one's very also smart, like how he inverts melodies, and he uses the Deus Irae, which, if you don't know, that's the death melody. If you ever hear the Deus Irae in a song, that means that they're alluding to the motif of someone's gonna die. Essentially, most shows, they imply death, or they imply, like, in this show, they imply familiarity, and also who's a murderer in the show. So who's gonna die, who's a murderer, and who has ties to who. So, like, Joanna's melody is an inverse of Sweeney Todd's melody. It gives you the idea that, oh yeah, that's her father. Similarly, Joanna's melody is very similar to her mother's melody, which you can figure out early in the show, if you pay attention to the music, you can actually figure out that Joanna's mother may be alive if you pay attention to her melody that they play. But yeah, that one is the one I would say the live action's fine. You can do the live action or you can do the pro shot. It's good. Now, one that is actually a solid one, if you like Sweeney Todd, I would then tell you, watch Jekyll and Hyde. Please watch Jekyll and Hyde. Jekyll and Hyde is so good. It's in a very, it's very fun. It's a very dramatic, and it can be gory at times. Can be, depending upon the revival. Sometimes it's gory, sometimes it's it's more melodramatic. But yeah, that and Death Note. Oh, Death Note. Death Note the musical is good. Now, if you're someone that does not love musicals, watch Little Women. I mean a box theater version. Not the movie. Watch the box theater version. The reason why is that, why I say a box theater, and if you guys don't know what a box theater is, essentially, it's a theater where the actors are in the middle. It's arena setting. Everybody's sitting around the stage. The stage is in the middle of the place, and the actors are playing. But that also means that there's minimal props. The actors actually have to work harder as actors because they have to convey the scene with maybe a stool, a desk, and maybe a hand mirror. And that's always, when I see that, it's always impressive to me because you really see what type of actor the person is because of how much you have to just improvise, because you don't have a full set to help carry you. A lot of people forget, but when you don't have a lot of set dressing, it's really hard. You don't have anything to hide behind, essentially. When I saw Little Women in the round, essentially, that one was really good. It was amazing. It was very tasteful, and I really felt like I connected more with it. That's not to say the Saoirse Ronan version is bad. It's actually pretty good. I actually like that interpretation where you get the false ending. You get both endings. Essentially, the ending of that she actually did end up marrying the guy, and the ending that she is the spinster, which the reality was it was supposed to be that she was the spinster. She was supposed to end up a spinster. Joan March was not supposed to marry somebody at the end of Little Women. It was only rewritten to be that way because the author was told by her editors and her publicist that no one would buy her book if it ended with her being a spinster by the end of the story. And so, unfortunately, she couldn't keep the ending that she wanted it to. But that's the only reason why I like the Saoirse Ronan version, which is the most recent version, is because of that. But if I had to watch Little Women by itself, I would watch it in a box theater, because the actors, you just see how impressive some of these actors are, and it's really good. But yeah, that's one of them that I am really impressed by. I have a soft spot for improvisational theater. And I have a really big soft spot for when a show has to come up with, has to do with these big concepts, but they only have, DIY props, which I love. I love when theaters do that. My favorite is if you're someone that is a Percy Jackson fan, please watch the Percy Jackson Broadway musical. off-Broadway musical. It never went to Broadway, but it was off-Broadway. But, oh my gosh, that version's so funny. I love it. I love it. My favorite song from it is Another Terrible Day, and it's Dionysus's song in that show, and it's all about Percy's first day at camp. And everything's going wrong, like, campers are accidentally, like, one's turning into a tree actively while they're, like, not turning into a tree, one's, like, growing sunflowers out of places, and then, like, he's trying to, like, Percy's just confused the entire time, because he's like, wait, like, I don't get this, like, gods are real and everything like that, and, like, Greek gods, everyone here has a parent, and we're technically cousins, you know, like, I love that, and Mr. G is just like, I wish I could have a drink. This forced sobriety is just not doing it for me. And I love that about that song. And it's done as, like, a very fun jazz number, and I enjoy it. And the punchline of the song, oh my gosh, and your mentor is a centaur, is like it. I know it doesn't read as funny coming out of my mouth, because you don't have the lead up to it. But, like, it's so fun. That show is fun. And my favorite parts about it is that if you guys know about Percy Jackson's supposed to have the ability to control water. Now, unfortunately, Broadway doesn't have that ability to have CGI. Now, yes, Frozen was able to have CGI in their show through projection mapping. However, Frozen's owned by Disney and has a budget, and they also have a dedicated theater. Unfortunately, Percy Jackson did not. So what they did for that one is Percy Jackson's very DIY. So what they did was they put toilet paper on rolls of toilet paper on, like, these toilet paper holders, and then the funniest moment is, like, whenever Percy's about to use his powers and you hear the leaf blower turn on, and you're like, oh gosh, they're using a leaf blower with toilet paper, just so that way they could splash the audience with toilet paper, and you're just getting TP'd in the rows. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love that. Another funny moment was, like, watching, the other thing that was funny from that is that they didn't have a budget to have a motorcycle, so all they do is they have two flashlights. They have two flashlights that they put together, that they're holding, like, in their hands, and then they have a stool, and then they have to use, like, a helmet. One guy wears a helmet, and they just have to pantomime riding on, like, on a motorcycle with, like, a clothes hanger. Like, you know those, like, plastic clothes hangers? Yes, that was the handlebars. That was funny to watch. Let me get into the garage. Get in the garage. Go, 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 go. Come on. Okay. Come on, 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 come on. No! I didn't make it. I didn't make it. I can do this. That was my fault. I didn't, like, press the... I pressed X instead of B. Okay. Come on, 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 come on. Ah! Well, Let me see. We can pick up... If we pick up here, we get movement speed. So let's get movement speed. So... I'm gonna get... Now, what I'm gonna do is I wanna max out my hands. Oh yeah, that's faster. Now, I only want to grab whatever is gonna be part of this. Okay. Bag tie. And I'm just gonna throw it over here for now. You don't want to throw it in the garbage yet, because if you throw it in the garbage right away, you're losing value that you could get. Okay, so we're gonna go here. We're almost there. Okay, good, good, good. Okay. Again. Throw that. Come on, come on, come on. Enchanted. Yes. Hoo hoo hoo. I'm trying to get all of these. I want to get all of these first. Oh. Tie it up, throw it out. But yeah, I decided to do Big Chrissy by the way today because I was like, I was in the mood to do like Big Chrissy today. I was like, you know what? Let's have Big Chrissy. Like, I've been doing the like window capture for a while. And I was like, I want to do this because then you could see more of my outfit. And like, I know half of me wants to do like a whole photo shoot because I was like, oh my gosh, I kind of want to show the outfit. The outfit's kind of cute. Like, I picked the skirt. The skirt has nice tights. And then I have these like long boots that I was like, oh my gosh, the boots look so cute with this. Like, with the leggings and the... Oh my gosh. I want to show you guys it. I'm probably going to do, like, a whole photo shoot, which I'm going to send to you guys. I don't know if I'm going to edit this video because I'm like, it's got cozy vibes, right? It's got cozy vibes, and I'm like, I probably don't want to, like, do too much with it. I kind of want to, like, just chill, and for this one... Like, it doesn't need to be too edited. I'm probably going to edit a little bit. Like, maybe a little. But, like, not that much. Because I'm like, I don't want to, like, go ham on it. And then it's like, oh, gosh. It's a bit much, you know? Especially when I'm, like, I'm trying to, like, get more videos out to you guys. Because I feel like you guys deserve more videos. You guys deserve more videos, and I'm trying to do more. It's just difficult to do them. And also, I try to improve the quality, as you guys probably can see. This is in, I did it in 2140 today. Today's in 2140. Ooh, yay. Run, 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 run. Run! Yes! I made it. You couldn't stop me. Alright. Ooh, card. Yes! I kind of want to do that in a monster truck wheel. I know it would probably get hurt doing that, but it seems like it would be fun. Don't I have an achievement? I forgot. Let's see. Dump leaf bag from impressive distance. Hit the basket with everything you can. Ooh, yes. So I was right. Throw. Okay. Let me see. Ugh. You know what was funny? The first, like, I know you have no proof of this, but, like, the first time I played this, I got, like, all of them on first try. I was able to hit the basket and get the whole thing first try. Oh, card. I forgot there was a card here. Oh, it's so funny. He got dunked. Got dunked. Like, I'm so disappointed. Let me see. That, like, it was so epic that I got all of them, like, first try. Like, I threw them in the basket, like, all first try, and I was like, oh my gosh, I managed to do that. And I was so impressed. I impressed myself, and I'm so mad I can't do it now. I was like, my basketball skills are so good. And I was, like, doing so well. I was like, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, because that's what when I've been, like, going and recording lately. Is 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm also recording these out of order. Because I don't want to, like... I'm recording when, like, everybody's asleep. Ugh. Give it to me. Come on. The first time I got it was, like... I was so impressed with myself. And, like, now I'm like... Ugh. I'm not even getting it. I'm failing. I'm so mad. Because I got it, like, first try. Every single time last time. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong now? Oh, gosh. Okay, come on. I could get it once. Give it to me once. We did this once before. Oh, my gosh. Come on. Seriously? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Jeez. No. No, I refuse. I refuse. Watch, this is gonna be a time lapse. Yes, and finally. Finally. Watch, I'm gonna have there will be a time lapse, I bet you. I'm so mad. Or maybe I might recover that original footage. Who knows? Okay. What do I get? Ooh, I get $7. $7. $7. Yeah, let's do it. We are going to collect as much as I can. I want to collect as much as I can. Because if I can, then they'll be worth more. I'm just like trying to get all of these leaves. But yeah, so speaking of what I was speaking about earlier. But yeah, I have like a lot of musical theater songs like I love. Like I actively love. Oh, there's actually not a lot left here, and it's for movement speed. Yes. Actually. When there's a will, there's a way. But yeah, I like this feature of like, one thing I do appreciate is it does highlight for you what's part of one section and what's part of another. I just wish it had the thing in Crime Scene Cleaner where like, if you get it out of one section, it kind of counts it as like you cleaned it. Like partially. But I understand why you would do that, since you would do it like this, so that way, like, you're not, like, just moving leaves around just to get stuff, the achievements. Like, then speedrunners would just, like, move all the leaves around to, like, where they're not supposed to be, just so they can do it. Yes! Oh, it's $5.75. I just want to put a couple of those. Okay. Yes. Thank you. By the way, I've been watching this guy, this like VTuber on Amiglo. I think that's what it's called. He has this voice like this. Has this voice like this. It's like very weird. And like he's like, I don't remember what his name is, but I was like, oh, he's a weird dude. And I appreciate that. Okay, I just want to get these shack leaves. I want these shack leaves. But yeah, I've been watching this guy on Omeglo, and I was like, this dude seems awesome. Like, he has a whole motion capture rig, and I was like, oh my gosh, if I could have that motion capture rig, I want notes, man. Like, I want to meet this dude and be like, okay, give me your notes. Like, where are you getting this rig from? Like, you're able to ride a horse, and I presume it's VR chat. I presume. I hope it, like, I don't know what it is, but he's able to ride a horse in it. Which, part of me wants to eventually one day, like, check out VR chat. I've only seen clips of what people have used it for. The only reason why I haven't ever used it is that I'm like, my VR system is not, I don't use a headset rig, and my headset rig is actually kind of inferior for it. It doesn't really track properly. I wish it did. Like, it doesn't have really eye tracking, so it's like, the most I'm gonna get is like arm tracking, which is like, arm tracking without face tracking is kind of like stupid. It's like, yeah, great, arm tracking. I know I say that, and like, the beginning of my VTuber career was arm tracking and not face tracking. I do acknowledge, I am making a joke about myself. I do know this. I did have arm tracking early in my VTuber career, and then, like, I swapped. Because I could not have both at the same time. So I was like, face tracking is actually better. I actually changed it around, I remember, because it was very pivotal. I changed it when I did, Lost Records. Lost Records, I think it was one of the last live streams of Lost Records. I decided to change it all. Let me see, can I go in here yet? Yes. Yes, I can. I get crouch ability. I get crouch. Leaf value goes up. Ooh. Leaf value goes up. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna go. I kind of want to... I want the crouch ability, and I need to get enough money. So I'm like, no. I suck at doors. Come on, man. Okay, let me remind myself. Let me see. Okay, so swings, crouch ability. We're not gonna get there till the end game. Leaf value 25. Grill area. Front area. Movement speed. Oh yeah, leaf value here. Okay. We're going back. I know it's kind of stupid. I'm like, you're probably like, why don't you just focus on one area? My brain is like, I want to maximize the value. And there's probably a bunch of you screaming in the chat that are like, you should upgrade the rake. Like, don't get me wrong. I know. I should probably upgrade the rake and all that stuff soon. But I'm like, I don't want to do it till I, like, have, like, a decent amount of upgrade. But yeah. So I've been listening to that. Also, the other thing I've been listening to, people's new albums. Personally, The Great Divide by Noah Kahn, really good. Highly suggest it. Please listen to it. It's really good. I love that album. I like the perspectives he does with that album. Because what's interesting about that album that he does is, instead of just being like, okay, let me analyze how I experience fame, which every artist has done, like, oh yeah, this is me becoming famous, like, this is my reaction to becoming famous and getting everything I want type album. And then they have the Fame Sucks album. This one kind of counts as both at the same time, weirdly enough, but in a refreshing way, because how he does it is actually he makes it he does it from the perspectives of everyone around him, including himself and his past self, and what his past self would actually think about him being famous. And I found it so refreshing in the song Haircut. So the song is called Haircut, and the whole point is that Noah Kahn pre-Stick season was someone that was struggling with addiction, had a lot of issues going on. He was like, he was having a bad time. He was not doing well, and he basically, he was in trouble with the law. He basically, like, he wasn't a good person, essentially. And he acknowledges that. But in Haircut, he points out that actually his younger self during that time would have hated the person he's become. Because the person he's become is so different from the person that he was. And for him to accept the person that he is today and not the person he was, he would have to acknowledge that he could grow to become someone better. And that's a harder pill to swallow than to just, like, be mean to your, like, your newer self. And I think that that's a very refreshing take, because everybody does, like, oh yeah, my younger self would have loved to become famous. And I love that he's like, no, mine would have hated it. My younger self would have actually been like, so you think you're too good for your family type thing? and like, you're too good for this town. Like, you know, you have real problems. Like, the phone lines are down and your relatives want to speak to you. Like, that type of stuff. Like, and you're drunk at your dad's house. Like, I love that perspective. I think it was very interesting. A very interesting perspective for him to go off of, because that you don't see that perspective most of the time. Everybody's like, oh yeah, they would have loved it. I'm nurturing my inner child. And he's like, nah, mine would have hated it, would have drunk more beer. Like, I'm all for it. The other thing that I also loved is that he explored his family's perspectives, and his family's perspectives actually from a place of animosity and bitterness. It's not, oh yeah, like, we're happy for you. Like, he has a song, You'll Go Far, which is from a place of, oh, we're happy for you. But then he follows up that song with Dashboard and Porch Light, and you hear this animosity that he's getting from his family about the fact that he became famous. And they just see his problems as like, oh, you're crying about the fact that you're selling out stadiums and it's hard to get to all these places and you never have time to see your family. Well, we actually have real issues that were going on with our lives. And I'm like, yeah, that's a serious thing. You know, you don't hear about that. And I find that how he's looking at everybody's perspective refreshing, rather than looking at how he's feeling about the whole thing. I think that's really, like, I keep saying interesting, but I love that about it. Another song that I was like, I'm not saying Gracie Abrams fell off. When I say this, I don't like her new song, Hit the Wall. I don't like it. It is, in my opinion, like, she is good. She is a good artist. She does really good work. However, she, in Hit the Wall, sonically, I don't think did anything too different. Like, her voice is the same. You get the same Gracie qualities. And I do like that she's exploring now, like, her psychological, she's doing a more psychological take. She's moving away from breakup songs and doing more of her own psyche, which I think is a very cool, like, introspective take that she could have taken. And I like the direction she's going. However, sonically, it doesn't sound that different. Now, I'm not saying, oh yeah, she should sound like she's completely different. I'm not expecting Gracie to suddenly do, like, club music. You know what I mean? I'm not expecting that. However, I feel like she could have done something different with the orchestration. I'm drinking water, by the way, if you're wondering why I paused for a second. She could have done something different with the orchestration, in my opinion. Because with Hit the Wall, all I heard was, oh, this sounds like I Told You Things. That's the first thought I thought when I listened to the song. And I couldn't get over the fact that it had the same, like, sound, like, phone beeper sound, that, I Told You Things had. And I feel like that, like, sonically, that was a missed opportunity. Because, like, for example, a good example of changing, but also doing the same thing, Olivia Rodrigo. Olivia Rodrigo's new album, new song, Drop Dead, it does sound like a lot of the stuff she's done before, but it also sounds different sonically. you could hear that she's not getting rid of electric guitar from her life. Like, I doubt she'll ever do that because she's trying so hard to be the next pop punk princess. However, she is going more, like, orchestral with the production. She's adding more strings, she's adding more cellos, she's adding more, horns, and she's making it sound like a symphony, this album. Which goes with the vibe of the song of, you know, of Drop Dead, which she has a line where face on the walls of Versailles. So she's giving the vibe of very classical beauty and a very ethereal vibe. And it does sound like Olivia, but it also sounds like a new album. And, like, I don't care for her. Now, I don't think the song Beg is a bad song. However, I don't think it's the best. I know it's going to be a hot take. And if you're someone that loves Olivia Rodrigo, I'm sorry. But I really didn't care for I Beg. I really didn't care for it. I just, like, I couldn't get behind it. Yes, the leaf value just went up. Yes! Leaf value went up! Yo! But yeah, I really couldn't, like, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad song, but it's like, I think I'm gonna have to wait till it, like, until it's, like, I get the actual recording of it, because, who knows, sometimes I don't like I'm one of those people where sometimes, you know, one performance can actually be, like, not that great, and maybe, who knows, it actually is a good song, and I might love the song. It's just that, like, I just haven't resonated with it because I haven't heard the official audio recording. Who knows? Maybe the official audio recording has some interesting, like, things in it that I didn't think of. Who knows? But unfortunately, I just never got into it. I literally never, I listened to it, I try to give it a chance, like, with a song, I try to, like, listen to it, and then listen to it again, over and over again, just to see if maybe there would be, if something different might happen, like, I might feel something different about it, right? I like to give songs multiple chances, because then, sometimes the song might not resonate with me now, but it will resonate with me later. And so I sometimes will go back to albums to see if maybe it might have been me that just wasn't ready for that album yet. You know, it sometimes can happen. I'm like, it happened with me and Reputation with Taylor Swift. Like, at first, I didn't really care about that album because it just wasn't the album for me. There was songs from the first couple songs from the album really didn't sell the album to me. And it didn't showcase the album, in my opinion, well. Now, you might debate me on this, but I thought that Look What You Made Me Do and Endgame and Ready For It was another one that came out during that time. Delicate was another one. But Delicate, I was like, I kind of liked Delicate at that time. Like, Reputation, to give you an idea, came out when I was in high school. And so Reputation didn't really, like, I didn't really, like, care for it. Like, I liked Delicate. I liked where it was going, but I wasn't, like, I just wasn't ready for that album. And over time, I've gotten into the themes of the album. Especially when, like, in my opinion, I think another reason why I had to get over that album was I wanted Taylor Swift to go to rock music. And I really was hoping with Bleachella that she would get into rock music. Like, I know people often say, oh yeah, Speak Now is the rock album. But I'm like, also, no, it's not. Like, there's like two, maybe three songs that I would say rock music. Like, I would say the ones off of Speak Now that I would count as rock music, in my opinion, are Haunted, Story of Us, and Better Than Revenge. Those are the only ones, in my opinion, from that album that are rock. And that's not a whole album. And I wanted a rock album. I kind of got that a little bit more with Life of the Showgirl, but the girl is afraid of drums. I don't know what it is. I don't know why she doesn't like drums. But I know it's a joke. It's a common joke, but I'm like, girl, we could do it. Just put some, you could go and do rock music. I know I'm saying this as a Paramore fan, and I've been watching both Paramore and listening to Taylor Swift at the same time, but Reputation was not for me at that moment. I only started appreciating it when I got to college. Oh yay, leaf value! The leaf value just went up. The leaf value went up. Yes! Yes, the leaf value went up. Okay, so that's good. I might do it now. I know, this is like, the mound is getting higher. I wonder if I could make a pyramid with it. Let me give it a minute. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Need more leaves. Yes. No. Yes. But yeah, the other game I wanted to also, this is like off topic, but another game I wanted to play was Crime Scene Cleaner. That was the initial plan before I did this, but Crime Scene Cleaner Biohazard is actually not out yet. Despite me seeing all of these like promotional things, they have not put it out yet. So I was like, oh man, that's kind of sucks. And I didn't know if you guys wanted me to do True Cleaner mode, which True Cleaner mode is literally you play the game on hard mode, which I wouldn't mind playing it. Essentially, they take away your cleaner sense, so you actually have to be really good at like cleaning the whole thing, because you are not, the only indicator that you will have is the percentage of like the room clean. You will not have cleaner sense to like highlight what's wrong with the room. And I wanted to kind of do that partially, but I didn't know if you guys would have liked it. So I was like, I'll just wait for Biohazard, because I really want to do Crime Scene Cleaner Biohazard. I don't know what it is about Crime Scene Cleaner that I love so much. I think it's the detective element. I love a good detective game, like where I get to solve. That's the one thing I love about Crime Scene Cleaner that I think sets it apart from every other game, is that I get the chance to solve the mystery. But in a low stakes way, where if my answer's wrong, it's really up to my own interpretation, right? If the answer's wrong, the answer's wrong. It's not going to really matter that much. But, like, that's why I love it, is that I get to solve a mystery. I could be my own Sherlock Holmes, look at the blood splatter, and I get to have fun with that aspect. I love, like, that's one thing I love about Crime Scene Cleaner. is I get to do that while I'm like just mopping the floor, and it's fun. The other thing I really, I do want to find more detective games. Oh, I didn't finish getting stuff. There we go. Now I did. Yes. I want to get the shed key. Because after I get the shed key, then we can get the value to go up a lot more. And if the value can go up a lot more, then that would be good. Let me see. Leaves. Another thing I really appreciate about this game is I love how beautiful the leaves are. Like, look at these. The leaves, like, they're varied enough that, like, he or she or whoever did this game made so many different leaves that obviously there's duplicates, obviously, in this whole patch. There's definitely duplicates. But because there's so many varieties of differences, like, it's not as noticeable when they look the same. And that is something I actually appreciate about this game. And also, for some reason, this game is not doing too bad on my computer. I don't know how he or she is doing it, but this game, I have it on a high detail level right now. The details are on high. And if you know me, I don't like to put games on high detail because I run so many programs at the same time. It's really hard for me outside of doing a video like this where I can just like, okay, I could crank it on high and I'll just have to deal with the fact that my room will be hot. I could handle that. Let me see. Can I go in here? Yes, I can. What does this have? Movement speed. Ooh, movement speed would be nice. But wait, what's up here? Also movement speed. I'm gonna sweep it. But yeah, I know I should probably do it. Oh, look at the leaves. Look at the leaves. Anyway, so yeah, I should probably like spend the money and get the leaf blower, but I'm waiting. I want to make sure I can let's see. Let me at least upgrade. Let me upgrade. But yeah, right now we're only getting like $3 a bag, which is not bad in any stretch of the sense, but like we also we want to be able to like, I'll follow rake, length, radius. We want radius. I kind of want to get all of these. I want to get these because I want to up my movement speed. But I also want to upgrade the rake a little bit. We already have like a ton of bags. Like we have a pyramid of bags that we could see from over here. Like at this point, we could do for some upgrades. Like we could be a little less stern on the upgrade front. Okay. Yeah. We could be a little less stern. I'm just gonna pick these up because, like, what's the point? Like, if I try to sweep it, it's gonna just get stuck on this door. And there's no way to, like, it keeps bouncing back. I'm not gonna do that, so I'm just gonna do this. Yeah. We're gonna do that. Hopefully I'm beating my time from... Actually, let me check meld. How am I doing on time? I'm actually doing okay on time. Surprisingly. Weirdly enough, I'm doing okay on time. Which I'm like, yay. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this time. Is my screen... Wait, let me see. Wait. Are we missing, like, a portion of the screen? I don't know. Maybe? Yes? I don't know. Let me see. I need to check. Hopefully we don't have to restart this again. Worst case scenario, I'll fix it. Let me see. Oh, wow. Okay. So yeah, we were missing a portion of the screen. So yeah, I fixed that. So now you can see it a little easier. But yeah, mistakes were made. Back to it. Okay. But yeah, so what was I saying again? Oh yeah. Another song I really love that I enjoy, and it came out like a couple days ago, is Bert the Bottle Rocket Astronaut. Look up this song. It's so stupid. I have a tendency to enjoy really stupid songs. Like, I have a weird affinity for, like, weird and stupid songs. And that's not to say this song is a bad song. It's a good song. But, like, there's something about this song that I'm like, it sounds like, it sounds so stupid, but it's so good. And it also reminds me, partially, like, another reason I think I like it is that it reminds me of the band True American. I love the band True American. If you guys, if you don't know the band True American, please look them up. They're really good. I enjoy their music. They're very topical though, so if you're someone that does not like topical stuff, do not listen to them if you don't like topical stuff. It's the same warning I would give with Melanie Martinez. If you don't like topical, don't do it. Don't do it, you will not like it. If you don't like topical music. But yeah, but it reminded me of that, of how they sound. But yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, it sounds so good. It was so, but yeah, it's like, the song is like, it's a pigeon. It's about a pigeon that he has one wing that doesn't work. But he doesn't get down about it. What he does is he's like, you know what? Natural selection failed me. I am not meant for the skies, but you know what? I will make it happen still. I will make it happen still. Because even though I'm not meant for the skies, who said I can't make it? So I love it. And he's like, and I'm not going for the moon. I am just looking to get to that tree. That tree. You see those pigeons up there? That they think they have it all because they have two wings that work. Oh, I can get there. I can get there and I will fly higher than them. Like, I love that vibe. And I love the fact there are moments in it that are so hilarious. Like he talks about how like he's hiding nitrogen canisters in his little toolbox. house, which is wild. So he's like, if you're here to raid me, I have some pumpkin pie to bribe you. And I'm like, yup, I love the vibe. Like, give me all the vibes. It's so funny. Like, the only thing I will say is that I try to look at the bands, like, the singers, other songs, and they're not as good. But I'm really hoping that they see the direction of this one, and they go the direction of, okay, let's make more stupid music. I need this. I love stupid songs. It's like, there's something about listening to a stupid song that you know it's stupid, but it's so good. It's a vibe. It's like you're vibing to it. And I love it. And I love the unbridled, like, confidence the bird has. I'm like, yes, you shoot for the sky, little birdie. I love this. Like, you guys know this about me. I love unbridled confidence. If you have, like, you're just overdosing with confidence, I love that. I love that. That vibe. Just being overdosed with confidence. Yes. Give me my money, my pretties. I want that coin. I want that ka-ching. And also, why does it sound like turkeys gobbling? Like, this is one thing I don't understand about this game, is I'm like, you hear it too, right? Like, when I go and I'm gonna be quiet for like a second when I sweep this. And tell me, does this sound like a turkey gobbling to you? Like, please, like, put gobble gobble if you in the comments if you think it sounds like a turkey gobbling, because in my opinion it does. You hear it, right? To me, it sounds like a turkey gobbling. Right? But yeah, like, so, yeah, so, but yeah, I noticed that, I was like, after I realized that, I couldn't unhear it. But yeah, I couldn't unhear the turkey gobbling. Let me grab this. Some of this, I'm gonna just grab it because it's like, it's faster. I have not. Let me see. I've yet to buy the. I can't wait to buy the leaf blower. If I could buy the leaf blower, that would be amazing. But I have to say, we are further than I was, like, at this time last time. So who knows? I might be, like, doing very well. It's just, like, gobbling. Like, I hear it, like, this like, this part is not as gobbly, but, like, when it goes in the inlets is what it sounds that way. Let me see. Current area. I'm, like, trying to, like, pick this all up. Give it to me! Oh, man. But yeah, I'm gonna try to keep these, like, not so edited, like... And also, please put in the... Like, I put a poll. I put a poll, but I don't know if, like, everybody voted yet. But I put a poll on the, community page on whether I should edit my old videos, and re-release them as like new videos, or just like go and like edit them on YouTube. Because the problem with editing on YouTube is if I edit on YouTube, wait, I can't go in here? I want to go in here. Is it locked? No, I just used the wrong button. That's what happened. Leaves! Pull! More leaves! Ooh, and I could throw that beach ball. Yes! Beach ball for the taking. Yes. Yes. And I get 15 Shek leaves here. But the pool, I get 25. I'm going to... let's first do the ones that I'm gonna obviously throw away. Yes, we're doing so good, you guys. I'm gonna throw a bag. How many do we have? What, like 16 of these? 16 times 3. So we're looking at let me scratch my head. 42? 52, 42? Brain. My brain is, like, tired. 42? Maybe? I don't know. My math's probably off. But yeah, so yeah, if you guys want me to go and, like, personally, the only reason why I'm asking it is that last time I released the Poppy Playtime, chapter 1, I had, like, a lot of people like, oh, this is an old release. Why are you releasing this old? Right? And a lot of you didn't like it. That's why I'm worried about it. But I have been editing chapter 2, and I've just... it's been hard it's been hard editing it, because editing is hard when you don't have a lot of energy. And right now I have a lot more energy. You guys don't know how much the game has changed since I've started taking my vitamin D medicine. I was so fatigued that it was hard to get out of bed. And for me, I was just always chronically tired. And then doing any task was like so much mental labor and so much like, I was like, I need to stay on task. I had so much, you don't realize how much like brain fog you have till you like, it clears up and you're like, oh my gosh, my brain has not been working like for a while. Like I had so much brain fog. And you guys could probably hear it because I'm on day 1 of my medicine. I just took my medicine like a couple minutes ago. So you could probably hear the brain fog is back. Like I'm more sharp on day 2 than I am on day 1. But like, I was like, oh my gosh, the fact that like it was a big difference. Like I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting thumbnails done again. It's not as hard. Like, because thumbnailing takes me like a whole day to do. Because I do like 40 different versions of the same thumbnail. You guys could probably see it if you notice it. Sometimes you'll see a thumbnail. And then I will go and I'll start editing the thumbnail. And then all of a sudden the thumbnail, you might tune back in like a couple minutes later and the thumbnail's like completely different. And or I change like something fundamental of it, or I change something so subtle, but it's like different, but you're like, I can't put my finger on it. I'm literally always changing thumbnails. Like, mostly because I realized that I realized my composition of my thumbnails, I messed it up so bad. Like, I'm not saying my old thumbnails are bad. Not in the slightest. But I realized I used to love doing action thumbnails. But I was like, I can't understand why I keep doing these action thumbnails and my videos are not getting watched. And then so what I started to do was I was doing these like I hate doing face thumbnails, as you guys could probably figure out what I mean by face thumbnails. They're the floating head thumbnails where it's just your head reacting and it's like super big. And I kind of hated that because I was like, that doesn't really give you what the video's about. And I always love action thumbnails, but they weren't doing good. And then I didn't understand why the face thumbnails were doing so well versus the action ones that would be so much better. And then I started, I watched this girl's video that she talked about, like, oh, this is how to, like, make your thumbnails better. And I looked at that video, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I am so dumb. Because it was everything that was taught in my film school, but it was what was taught for film editing, for like shot composition and stuff like that. Not like this. Basically, in film college, they teach you shot composition. They teach you like, oh, when you have to go and if you want something in focus, try to make it more contrasty than the rest. Or like the eye is drawn to lighter parts of the frame type things, right? That was taught to me, but it was taught to me in a like planning a shot or an editing standpoint, not in a thumbnail standpoint. Because think about it, when you go to film school, they don't teach you, they teach you how to make movie posters, but movie posters are not made in the sense where you're implementing that stuff. They're not made in that sense, and you don't actually start doing movie posters till your last semester. Like my last semester of film, that was when we actually did movie posters. And that's actually kind of disappointing because, like, considering, like, movie posters can sometimes make or break some movies, and thumbnails are very important. Like, it's kind of disappointing that we were never really truly taught. And when I got to it, when I finally got to the class that taught you how to do, not thumbnailing, but taught you how to do movie posters, the teacher basically said, oh, use AI to make it. And I'm like, you're not going to teach us how to make the movie posters? Like, no, you can use AI to do it. I'm like, but we need the concept of what would make it look good, of what are the concepts that help make movie posters look good in order to understand, like, why it looks good. So that way we can have a better eye for this. I was like, no, just use AI. And I'm like, yeah, but you're not teaching us the important thing. And so I never realized you should use that stuff for more than editing and, like, shot composition. You should actually use it for, like, your photos too, your thumbnails. And I was so mad when I realized that, because I was like, no wonder my videos were having a hard time, like, my thumbnails were having a hard time. Everything was always an inch off from what it should have been. Like, you guys don't realize, rule of thirds is a real thing. Like, your eye, to give you an idea, when someone looks at your thumbnails, they spend about a third of their time looking at the upper right corner of your thumbnail. So anything in your upper right corner of your thumbnail, like, it's like upper right center is what I'm saying. Not corner, but upper right center. of the rule thirds, that ends up being whatever the focus your video is. You can also put stuff in the center, but if you put something in the center, you kind of have to alienate everything else on the sides. And I was like, oh my gosh, the fact I did not realize this. I was so mad. Like, I was so mad. Because I was like, this is all stuff I was taught in film school. But the problem with film school today is that they don't teach you how to use it in like a YouTube sensibility, right? Because they're hoping that you'll just do traditional media and you'll never get into like digital media. And because they have this heavy animosity towards like digital, then when you're trying to apply, you don't know to apply some of these concepts to this. To some of these things. Because they want to pretend that film and digital aren't of the same, like, cloth. But they are. They're from, they operate. And actually, I realize now, you use more filmmaking techniques doing digital media than you do with traditional. Because of the fact that since digital media is geared for people with shorter attention spans, you have to use every psychological rule in the book in order to make it work. Because otherwise, no one's gonna click on your video. You have to use you have to basically manipulate people into watching your videos by using psychology. But film, since they have the benefit for years of that, oh, they didn't have to compete with social media for a very long time. Thumbnails really didn't matter. Like, you could see that for years, for movies, they did floating heads because, and they kind of lowered their thumbnail game because of the fact that literally they were like, who are we competing against? As long as we show that this actor's in this film, we'll be fine. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the fact that I am using more of my film college now than I did then is insane. Like, I highly suggest, if you want to up your video game, study concepts of film. Study, like, basic concepts, like lighting, and shot composition, and color theory, and all that. Because once you do that, you then know the psychology of why people click on videos, why people go and watch your video. Why would someone decide your video out of everybody else's? And for me, it's down to, because of that, now I'm happy to do all of these action thumbnails again, because I know that it wasn't me. I just was putting myself on the wrong side. Which is a hilarious thing to figure out. I was putting myself on the left side of the frame, which I should have been on the right. Now, eventually one day, I can put myself on the left side of the frame. But that day is not anytime soon. It's not anytime soon. And after I noticed this also, I started looking at other channels like Markiplier's, and I'm like, oh my gosh, no wonder Markiplier does so well. I was like, this man's been applying this concept for years. I'm gonna push this into the pool. Yeah. I'm gonna push it in the pool, and then what I'm gonna do... Oh, I forgot. I have a vent here. Oh, this is where it starts, man. It sounds like turkeys. I can't stop thinking about the fact it sounds like turkeys. Once you notice it, it hurts. It's because it just keeps bothering me. It's like, it sounds like turkeys. Gobble, gobble. Like, so much that this game needs, like, a thanks. Like, one thing that I will acknowledge about this game, I want there to be seasonal updates. I want there to be a leafing around where you're shoveling snow, right? I know that basically ruins the concept of the whole point of the game, because you're, like, supposed to be picking up leaves. However, I would love to be, like, shoveling snow, like, have one where it's, like, shoveling snow, have one where it's, like, this. Now, I would love more of a detective element, but that's just me. And especially the fact that this game developer figured out how to do this game where I can run it so easily. I need... okay, let me tell everyone here, we need more games where you could run it on low resolution and the game looks amazing still. I am tired. Now, don't get me wrong. Games like Resident Evil, where we're getting, like, the remakes of, like, older games, that's cool. It's cool to see them in a higher resolution, and I do enjoy that. However, one thing that I want studios and people to start doing is there are right now, with the shortages of RAM drives and all these GPUs because they're going to data centers, you don't want to go and make your game so high resolution, because you're going to run into the problem that most people can't run your game. And if they run your game, they're going to have to do it on low resolution. And sometimes these game developers, they don't actually put a lot of thought into how their game should look like on a low resolution. So their game doesn't actually look great on low resolution. And I'm like, it should feel like an older game. Like, if you go and... if I'm going to play your game, right? And I'm playing your game, and yes, it could be high resolution. But give me a low resolution game version that doesn't feel like it's a downgrade from the high resolution version. I feel like that's the problem I keep seeing nowadays with these games, is that there's no low resolution version that looks bad. That looks good. Like, and I'm telling you, low resolution games can look good. There have been games out there that have looked good in the past, and they're low res. We all know the game, have played a game of the past and been like, yeah, that game still hits. You know what I mean? Like, tell me, Zelda, right? When you go and you play Zelda, like, I'm talking Majora's Mask. I'm talking, like, Link to the Past, right? And all that stuff, right? And I know, like, Link's Awakening got a revival too. But, I'm not gonna pay attention to that one. Those ones. Those are old games that, even though they are old, they look good. I can acknowledge they look amazing still. I think they look great, in my opinion. Now, are they as, like, oh, that looks super cool that it's high resolution? Obviously, they're not gonna be, like, breathtakingly beautiful, obviously. But I want a decent game. If I'm gonna play your game, right? Make the low resolution version very good. Make it good, because especially when I'm playing I am coming from the perspective of someone that is a VTuber that has to run multiple programs. But imagine your audience is shrinking by the day if you do realism, because of the fact that people cannot afford these GPUs. They cannot afford GPUs. They can't afford RAM drives. And a lot of them just have to be like, well, I just can't play that game. Like, some of these horror games, I'm telling you, some of these horror games, I know, doing it in realism, it makes it really look really cool. But you could do a very atmospheric horror game and not make it realistic. Because I kind of hate when an indie game is like, okay, let's make it super realistic, and then it doesn't add anything to the story. Like, if your game is realistic and it doesn't add to the story, there's not a real good reason for it to be realistic, right? I want more indie developers and more AAA games too. I'm not just saying indie. I'm saying indie because those are the ones that are most likely going to implement the change. The AAA game companies are probably never going to do it. But I think that they should, because you're losing your customer base with every year. And if you can make a game where it runs on low power, and it's not very power intensive, like this game is one of those, I bet you these are just PNGs. I bet you they are just PNGs. He put a collision shader right here, right where the leaves are falling, because it's all of them look standardized. And because they are all PNGs, it makes it very easy for the game to run. And I bet you right here, these leaves look very flat. So I wouldn't be surprised if in unloaded areas, he photographs this section, right? Because it probably procedurally generates them perfectly. Like, I'm not saying perfectly, but what I think probably could be happening is that he's placed them in a certain way that they spawn here like this all the time. And then what he can do is he took a picture of the floor of what it looks like, placed it as an asset on top, and then you can't affect these leaves. They're not loaded in. They're not going to affect. And then when this unlocks, right, when I finally unlock it, which you're not going to unlock it here. You're not going to be looking at it when it unlocks. You're going to be looking over here. You're probably going to be looking over there where the vent is, or you're going to be taking the leaves over there. So then the asset probably replaces itself with from the picture to the actual things, because you see these have shadows. Those don't have shadows. And that causes the game to run better. As you guys can hear, my computer is only chugged once, and it's only chugged in moments where I have a ton of leaves in one spot. My other theory is also that possibly it's only rendering, like, look at these leaves. When I look at them closely, they have shadows, but when we look from afar, actually those still have shadows. I think that it's constantly deactivating shadows. It's constantly turning off the collision shadows, in my opinion. It only activates whatever's in front of the player, and probably in like an exaggerated cone. I don't know. I don't know if it's actually true. I only know what could be what's going on because of my brothers, who happen to do game design a little bit. But that's what I think's probably happening. here, and that helps the game be on a high resolution, but actually not have any weight, which I really appreciate. I could play this game and it look amazing, and I'm not worried about it. I'm actually playing this game, and I'm also have my settings for this stream on the highest level too. So I am putting my computer to work, and it's still not chugging, which is a testament to this game. I need more games like this. I want more people to come up with innovative my thing is, we need to come up with more innovative solutions for how can we create games that they still work, they still look amazing, but we're using ways to like low poly or low graphics load ways to render stuff, so you don't have to worry about just it costing the PC, because the fact I could just do this and nothing wrong's happening is an achievement. Like, kudos to the developer. And I'm actually, if this developer comes up with any more games, I will be happy to play more. Because this game is actually really spectacular. And I'm also gonna say, I am not sponsored by this guy. Or girl. Or whoever it is. I didn't really research the game too much. I just saw it on, like, on Gabsmolder's and Queso streams, and I was like, yeah, I kind of want to play that. I didn't really pay too much attention. But that's my opinion of this. I want more games. I want this developer to make more games, because I really enjoy this game. But yeah, there will be more horror games. So for those of you who are worried, they're like that this game is not a horror game, don't worry. I have a couple of horror demos I'm playing. They'll be coming out later this week, or probably next week. I don't know where this video is gonna fall in the scheduling timeline. I'm shooting everything out of order, so I don't know if this is gonna be like today's video, tomorrow's video, or next week's. I just know it's gonna be sometime. You guys are gonna see it. And I want to do a photo shoot because I think it's super cute. I want you guys to see my outfit. Like I said earlier, I want you guys to see the outfit. The outfit's so cute that I wore. And I was like, it's a shame that you guys can't see the bottom. I kind of want you to see the bottom. So I was like, I kind of want to do an autumn leaf, like, photo shoot a little bit. I know that's probably, like, very, very, like, oh, cliche and all that stuff. But I'm like, autumn leaves. Okay. We're almost done with getting everything here. Though it doesn't help that the grill area's leaves are also, like, gray. So you actually don't know if they're actually, like, what are part of the pool and what's not. Let me see. Maybe it's glitched. Who knows? But this game has been so good to me so far. Like, it's super nice and sweet. Oh, I didn't check this one. Oh, it's food. It's the food. It's super cute. Yo! He's all full and happy. Let me drink my water. But yeah. But I've been also trying to like look at other people's streams and see what other people are doing. For the most part, I'm trying to see like one achievement I want to achieve this year. I always have like a goal each year of what I want to improve about my thing. And this year is my videos. I've said this multiple times before, but I'm like this year, I want to improve my videos. I've improved my streaming, and I think my streaming's very well. Like, I stream very well for you guys. I just want to make sure that my videos also are, like, very enjoyable, too. And I feel like it needs work. But, yeah. All of these leaves. I kind of want to pick them all up here because I just want to, like, make sure I'm, like, getting enough because I know that that's, I think, 15 or 20 or something. I saw it earlier. Watch this be, like, the longest part. Because I'm just straight up picking up stuff. But yeah. So, in terms of anime, I've also been watching some anime. I've been watching Dress Up Darling. I've loved Dress Up Darling, by the way. It was so good. I watched season 1 and season 2. It was fun. Oh, it's starting to... Now it's starting to chug. Now it's starting to chug. Like, oh no! We're chugging now! There you go. Now. I'm gonna throw, like... What? 2 of these bags? Now. I know there's an achievement for this. Don't let me down. No. Okay. I can do this. We already done this once. If I was better at aiming, that would help. Nope. We'll do this later. There we go. Oh, wait. How many are in the pool? $18,000. Okay. So then, we're just gonna blow them in one corner. And then after we blow them into one corner, we're gonna go in there. Okay. $670. So we're close. We're close. Okay, so we're gonna blow this. We gotta blow it. We gotta put this here. Nope. Still crunchy. I see. But yeah, leave in the comments what games you would like me to see. But yeah. So while I do this, but yeah, I was watching Dress Up Darling. I loved the cosplay. I loved it. I can't wait for the next season, but I was like, I didn't know how bad the fan service was till I watched it. I was like, oh my gosh, no wonder people were talking about the fan service in this like show being so egregious. I was like, yeah, it's a bit egregious. Like, the whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, girly, you're giving this man some panic here. Like, you don't see the undertones of what's going on here? Like, you're going to this teenage boy's house, and you're like, yes, you're dressing up in swimsuits and stuff like that so you can take your measurements, but I'm like, it's a teenage boy's house, and this man is like panicking. This poor kid's panicking the entire time, and I'm like, oh my gosh, man. He's like, I don't want to do the wrong things. I don't want to say the wrong things, and also she's like all dressed this way, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she is literally ruining this guy's day with it. I'm like, come on, Mari, come on. Like, I get it, but I get, like, yes, over time you're like, oh, actually I have feelings for him, but I'm like, come on, girly, you're like, every choice Mari makes in this show, I'm like, there was a better choice you could have made, girly. Like, you're being so problematic, ma'am. Like, and I get it. She's like comfortable in her body and all that stuff, and that's the whole point of the show. But it's like, and he's like, oh yeah, I want to paint dolls, and I'm having a masculinity crisis because of the fact I paint dolls. But I'm like, girlie, you don't have to give him like a sexual awakening every single week. Like, you could keep the boobs in. They don't have to be out. Like, the show got better around season 2. But I was like, oh my gosh, I did not realize how bad it was. It was such a bad show. I enjoyed the cosplay elements, though. It was very honest. It was, like, the moments that it did, like, depict of, like, oh, the camaraderie of cosplayers and all of the awkward, like, things that happen with, like, clothing malfunctions and you going and, like, and the awkwardness of, like, okay, how do you adapt characters, especially when you do not match the character, like, your height might be off, or you, like, your face might not, like, suit the features or stuff like that, but it's the, you still want to do it because it's your character and you found something from that character that really speaks to you. Like, I totally understand that struggle. That struggle is real. And I just love it. Like, and also the thought of, oh, I don't want to do the cosplay because, I don't want to, like, do it and make it look bad. Right? I have that same idea. There's this cosplay. I want to dress up as Raven from Teen Titans, but classic, like, comic book Raven. I want to dress up as comic book Raven. But I'm so, like, because she's one of my favorite characters and she's been my favorite character since I was little, there's so much pressure in my own head. Not, like, no one's pressuring me to be Raven, but, like, there's so much pressure in my own head to get it perfect. Like, to get it right. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, it needs to be just right. Otherwise, then it's not gonna be great, and then, yay, the leaf value just went up. And then, if I remember correctly, leaf value goes up. Greenhouse, crouchability, leaf value, check leaves, upgrade strength. So yeah, that was the last upgrade for the value. So we can actually, I think that was the last upgrade for the value. So actually, it is time. I'm not too, like, hell-bent on, like, getting it. I'll try to see if I can get the footage. I'll try to show you the footage, like, the corrupted footage. You guys, like, of me getting it. It might, I don't know how badly it's gonna look. But I'm gonna try to merge both versions together to make this version because, like, what I did here was fine. It's just, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so mad that this video got so corrupted. I'm like, my brain is like, it's like, it's not your fault, but also I'm like, why did it do that? I wanted to have a good video. All I wanted was to make a video that worked out. You know? There. So yeah. We're optimizing our money. There. Okay, let's see. What did we get in journals? We've got buy up all the upgrades, collect the mysterious photo, dump leaf bag from an impressive distance, 11 meters. Ugh. We're gonna try. We're gonna try. Okay. Ugh. I have a couple more tries, so it'll be fine. Okay. Again. Ah, it was so close. I know this is so low stakes today. I'm like, no. I want it so bad. Nope. Okay. Next shot. Okay. We're trying. We're trying, guys. I gotta get it. I can get it. I can get it. No. Okay. I either keep like tilting it too far up. No. No. Or it gets like, I bounce it off the side by accident. And I'm trying not to bounce it. Okay. No, it got so close. I keep tilting it too far up. Watch me, like, get better at it. Like... Okay. Okay. That was relatively where I needed it to go, just wrong location. No. Not even close. Must be like... No. I keep going at it like a javelin. Not a javelin, it's a trash bag. Come on. No. I just want to go and grab it. If I can't get it by this, if I can't get it this stream, I'm gonna load. I'm gonna show you guys what I did. Okay, let's go. No. Got it. I swear I got it the first time, last time. No. Keep putting it in the wrong place. And by my luck, the whole thing is like corrupted and you guys can't see it. Okay. We're gonna blow this in there. Just blowing it. But yeah. But I'm trying to do more cozy games because I kind of wanted to... I haven't done cozy games in a little while. I've been doing like a lot of high stakes stressful ones, which is, I don't mind doing high stakes stressful games. I kind of love it. But I'm like, also I kind of need the chill break once in a while. But yeah. I'm just like trying to get this. I've been trying to like get stuff done and trying to get thumbnails going, and Clean this pool. But yeah. So yeah, I watched Dress Up Darling. The other one I watched was... I'm trying to remember. It was the bed and breakfast one. I finally went back to the bed and breakfast one to see if maybe my opinion has changed. You know, I've been watching season 2 of the bed and breakfast, like, spirits one. It's very forgettable. Like, I'm sorry. If somebody is, like, if that's your favorite show, I'm sorry. But, like, it's so forgettable. Like, I didn't realize how forgettable. I was like, I knew the main character was, like, super forgettable, because I was like, I even forgot who was the main character in that show. And then I forgot who was the main character of the show for, like, a hot minute. Like, you know when you go back to a series, you know how good the series is, by whether you remember who the main character was that you've been with for, like, 2 seasons, right? I was like, is that the main character? Is it the Tanuki one? And I was like, no, it's the human. I forgot. The main premise of the whole show is literally a human gets taken to the spiritual realm and to get married off to an ogre. And, like, I'm like, I forgot that the human was part of it. I forgot. I'm just like, oh yeah, she's an NPC character. And forgot that she was the actual main character. Like, again, if this is your favorite show, I'm so sorry. But it's not mine. It's not mine. It's so forgettable. And my brother also, like, my brother hates me for saying this, but ReZero also is forgettable to me. I've watched the reason why I say that is that there's nothing wrong with ReZero. The problem is, I watched like a season and a half of ReZero. Could not tell you what was in ReZero. I could not tell you what was in ReZero. I know it's like a time loop with some dude, and there's a blonde chick. I could not tell you what the show's about. I literally lost the plot on that show. And there's gonna be so many anime fans that are gonna hate me. Like, if you have an anime show in the comments, tell me. I will tell you whether it's good or not. If I forget it in, like, a month, oh, yes, it's forgettable. Yeah, ReZero, to me, is forgettable, and my brother hates it. My brother's like, no, you just never gave it a chance. I'm like, I don't even remember. Until you pointed out it was in my watch history, and, like, and me vaguely remembering I watched the movie one with the blonde chick before it, I would have fully believed I never watched the show. I would have fully believed I never watched ReZero. Like, if he told me I never watched ReZero, I would have believed him. Because literally, I have no memory, no recollection of that show. That show came and went in my mind. It did not, like, it was not a core memory. My brain just was like, yeah, it's not that important. It just chucked it out with the rest. Made more room for Apothecary Diaries. Because I could tell you every plot twist and every little miniature detail of Apothecary Diaries. Could not tell you what happens in ReZero. Could not tell you. I know there's some chick named Rem in that show with blue hair, and there's one that got pink. Don't remember the name of the pink one. But I don't remember ReZero. If ReZero is just like a faint memory. But yeah, like I maybe I might give ReZero another chance. But like I don't know. Like, tell me if I should give ReZero another chance. If it's, like, considering I really didn't remember it the first time. Like, and I'm a really open-minded person. I'm really open-minded. I'm willing to accept a lot about a show. But, like, I forgot ReZero even existed. Oh, man. And there's probably going to be someone in the comments like, you forgot ReZero. I can't believe you did that, Chrissy. I can't believe that you don't remember it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. It is what it is. I remember what flowers, like the ladies of like the Apothecary Diaries are supposed to represent. I know that, like, Liawa is supposed to represent a bellflower, and, like, Gyoku is supposed to represent a peony, but I could not tell you what the name of the stupid rabbit thing is. Like, the rabbit thing. I think it was a rabbit. I don't remember if it was, though. Like, I'm half sure it's supposed to be a rabbit that the blonde chick has. But if you told me it wasn't, that would be on me. Like, if you told me, oh yeah, the blonde chick does not have, like, a rabbit, it's like a dog or something like that, or a cat, I would be like, yeah, makes sense. I don't remember it. Okay. See! Yes! I did it! First try! Let me see if I can do it with a basketball. No. Let's try that again. Nope. The basketball is like one too many. It's like, no. We will not allow you to have the basketball. The basketball is too egregious for you. Okay. Come on. No. Okay. Okay. No. If I get this in, we're gonna pretend that I got it first try. No. I will not stand for this. No. Oh, fuck. I punched it. Oh my gosh, jeez. This game utterly hates me. Let me see. What about it? No. But we were closer. Okay. Yes! We did it! Okay. Alright. Card. Yes, let's launch ourselves to the moon. Yes. Yes. Okay. And we have the leaf blower. Oh, yes. Oh, wait. I need to make sure it closed. So I'm gonna blow it this way, so it doesn't get stuck in the corners. Don't get stuck in the corners. But yeah. This is probably a horribly inefficient way to do this. And honestly, I should probably care more. But I don't. But yeah, another game I thought about playing is Subnautica. Should I play it? Do you guys want me to play Subnautica? Because it's on the table. But I don't know. Is thalassophobia enough for you guys to be scared of it? Like, I know some of you probably have thalassophobia, but I'm like... I know sometimes it can be a stretch. Some games are like a stretch to call them horror games. Like, let me see. Alright, let's get this going. But yeah, I'm trying to watch a couple more, like a little bit more of like anime and film and some more TV. Like, old part of me wants to get more well versed in like older Hollywood stuff. Like, speaking of older Hollywood, oh please, if you're someone that watched, if any of you work with anyone of Apple TV, please bring Schmigadoon back. I need Schmigadoon back. For anyone who doesn't know, Schmigadoon is basically a musical show about this couple that gets trapped in a place called Schmigadoon, that you can consider it somebody's personal hell, because literally the whole town is just doing musicals. They're a musical. The whole town is a musical. It's not understood if it's it's understood. It's kind of like a pocket dimension in a sense. Like, the music doesn't happen like diegetically. It happen the music just comes out of thin air. For those of you who don't know what diegetically or non-diegetically means. Diegetically means music coming from a source that you can pin down. So like a record, or like in Guardians of the Galaxy, we know that the whole time that we're listening music in Guardians of the Galaxy, it's being played through Peter Quill's headset. Because he's always listening to music. Right? So it's the soundtrack, it's the playlist of the whole adventure. But in the case of Schmigadoon, it just comes out of thin air. Just like every like classic Hollywood like musical. And I was watching, I really want them to bring it back, because they only did like 2 seasons of it. And the reason why I want it so badly is Schmigadoon, what was cool about it is it went through the history of, like, they did different eras of musical theater. So the first season's like Bye Bye Birdie, Sound of Music, like old, like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, like old musicals from like Broadway. But when they did season two, the couple comes back because they're like, we kind of missed the musical world. The musical world was so easy, and we kind of went on vacation here. And they come back and they're like, oh no, it's Murderville now. Because what happens in season 2 is Smigadoon, because of the influence of the people coming into their lives, it creates in universe them getting into the musicals of like the 80s and the 90s and the 70s and 60s. So like Hair, they do a homage to Hair, Jesus Superstar. They do a homage to Chicago. They do a homage to Cabaret. They have like it was during a time where like courtroom cases could be won by lawyers lying on the stand, and while using their the plaintiff as like a puppet. And there were a lot of like movements going on, so like social movements. Everything was like risque. There was murder everywhere. Everybody was dying. Everyone had some type of disease, like sexually transmitted or not. It was like AIDS, or there was like, they would be dying of an overdose, or they would be contracting cholera. Cats was part of that. And I wanted a season 3 because I wanted to see what they were gonna do with the Gleesicles. If you don't know, I call them Gleesicles because during the era of the early 2000s, a little bit of the late 90s, up to like 2010s, Glee influenced Broadway musicals to become jukebox musicals. So using pre-existing music to make musicals out of them, Broadway musicals. And I wanted to see a Gleesicle. I wanted to see a Gleesicle of what they would do. So it was the era, the 2000s were the era of the American Idiot. It was the era of Phantom of the Opera. So I wanted to see how they put those two together. Like Phantom of the Opera, but then like Gleesicle. Then you have like also Kinky Boots. Kinky Boots was also another thing that was a thing that happened. They did a revival of Kinky Boots. The movie musicals were a big thing. So you started getting stuff like shows that were based off of movies. So like Heathers, you got Beetlejuice, you started to get like Billy Elliot. I wanted to see that. I really wanted to see that. Of what they were gonna do with the Gleesicles. I really wanted to see what they were gonna do. What they were gonna do with the jukebox musicals. And I feel like it would have been so fun to see it. And especially since some of the stars are renowned like singers. They're renowned for being like, famous singers. Like, for example, Dove Cameron. I would have loved for them to do is we're gonna go and do Smigadoon, right? But we're gonna do a jukebox musical using Dove Cameron's, one of Dove Cameron's, like, big hits, like, do, like, Boyfriend, or do, like, Breakfast, or do something like that. Because then it's like a tongue-in-cheek joke, because a lot of that era was also tongue-in-cheek jokes. And also, I would love to see what they were going to do with, like, I would say, like, 2008 recession / Patriot Act musicals. So a lot of the musicals then, they still had the social activism, but there was a lot more go against the government type thing. A lot more of that, like surveillance. There was a lot of social, like the influence of social media became a big thing in like early 2010s in Broadway musical with Dear Evan Hansen. And I really wanted to see with how they were going to tackle that. Like, how they were going to tackle, like, shows like Dear Evan Hansen when, in a world where they haven't gone social media yet. Mean Girls would have been really cool to see, like, how they were going to be influenced by Mean Girls. Because that one's also a big musical that was part of that age. Another one that I thought of, during that era, they could have done the stereotype of, like, the divorced dad type thing. They had a big thing that kept on happening where you had the, like, the rapscallion, like, delinquent adult that is a deadbeat, and he finds his way in the world through, like, teaching children. Like, that kept on happening in, like, in media, and like in Broadway, and I was like with School of Rock has that element. You could have also influenced it. Rent era. You could have also added a little bit of Rent era, because Rent era is 90s, but it's like. It's on that cusp of 90s and, like, they didn't really delve into it too much in, like, season 2, so I was hoping they were gonna do it with season, like, 3. Like, do more of the Rent era. But yeah, you started getting more Rent era. Essentially, there was a lot of movements. That went on. You started getting a lot more ethnic musicals. That was another thing. And we're getting a lot more ethnic musicals with the Cuban Social Club, which I'm excited for. I'm so excited for Cuban Social Club. I really want it. Because I feel like it's going to be the same thing as In the Heights. Like, it's going to be not the same thing, but I feel like I'm gonna have the same feelings of like reminders of like my culture, like that, and it's gonna be really cool. And it's like I really love that. And In the Heights, I also would have loved to see a season 3 where they delve into like, okay, how are we gonna go and talk about the immigrant crisis? Because imagine, there's an easy in there. Imagine there's like a ton of people that are migrating to Schmigadoon in order to get the feeling of being in a musical, right? Because there's these musical theater like fans that are just like, oh yeah, I want to be in my own musical. I would love to live somewhere where it's a musical. And then so you could get like, you could start riffing off of the ideas that In the Heights has. In the Heights, you can also, another thing I wanted to see them tackle is how do you tackle Hamilton? Because Hamilton was a cultural, like, a big cultural moment. Like, so like, how do you go and tackle Hamilton? Because Hamilton, like, that was historical. So like, would you just tell the story of your like world, like the world building of like your city, the new versions of Schmigadoon, like as through rap, which I would have loved to see. I really, there were some things I really wanted to see in that, especially like it would have been. There's so many things that would have been so funny to see and like put to screen. I'm glad that they made Schmigadoon into, they finally brought it to Broadway. And they actually have Alex Brightman playing one of the characters in Schmigadoon. So he's actually, he plays one of the main characters in Schmigadoon, which I'm like, oh, that's so perfect. Like, having him there, because it doesn't seem like, for anyone who that watched Beetlejuice, it might seem like a weird, like, choice to have Alex Brightman play that character, but it actually makes so much more sense than a lot of people realize, because Alex Brightman, part of his Beetlejuice role was going and, like, being, like, the comedic, like, oh yeah, voice of reason, like, going and joking about the things that was around him. And I like that they're still doing that take, but he's doing it in, like, are we sure we're doing this? Like, do you really want to start another song? We're starting another song. Is there some way we could press pause on this? Right? He's doing that the entire time, and I'm like, yes, please, do more. Do more, man. I'm very happy that he's went back to Broadway and he's going and continuing in Broadway. I'm hoping to see more of, again, this wrapping around the whole stream back to the beginning. I want to see more of Jack Wolf. I'm so, like, I think he's going to be the next Broadway darling that breaks into TV and film. And when he does, oh boy, he's going to be the next Timothée Chalamet. Mark my words. The next Timothée Chalamet or the next Jeremy Jordan. I think he's going to be the next Jeremy Jordan. Because the way the guy, like I said, with, like, his take on Hadestown and his version of Orpheus, it's such, like, he's such an actor that plays so emotionally, like, these moments. He's very chaotic in the way he acts. Like, he acts like a gremlin, which is kind of fun. He acts like a gremlin, and that's the best way to describe him, in, like, a very nice way. Like, I'm not trying to say that in a bad way. He acts like a creature. It's the best way to say. Okay, I'm gonna blow. Okay. So now I can go like that. Like, his mannerisms are creature-like, and I'm like, solid. But yeah. And I also am like, I want more Jeremy Jordan. Like, I'm thinking about going and rewatching, like, Newsies and, like, oh my gosh, Santa Fe. Ugh, it's Santa Fe. Anyone who's ever watched, like, Newsies, like, if you guys don't know, Disney has a musical about the newsboys strike, the newspaper strike, the 1930s and 20s. I know, I say my numbers backwards. But, like, they did the newsboy strike. And can I go in here now? No. There's something missing on the pole. I'm missing a leaf. You were the problem. Okay. Now. We're gonna blow this. Blowing this. But yeah. There's some musicals that there's some, like, albums from, like, artists that I really want them to make them into musicals. Like, please, like, My Chemical Romance. can you make Black Parade or Danger Days into, like, a Broadway musical like Green Day? I know you love Green Day, and you're all, like, Gerard Way is, like, also is, like, a theater, I think is a theater kid as well. And he acts so theatrical that I'm like, you must be a theater kid, right? He seems like a theater kid, right? And I know he's a comic book person. Like, for anyone who's confused about the thread, Gerard Way, the frontman of My Chemical Romance, also does comic books. He's done comic books for both, I believe, DC and Marvel. And I love Umbrella Academy. I know some of you know Umbrella Academy. Most of you probably know Umbrella Academy from, like, Netflix's version. Please read the version that his comic book. It's so zany. It's so zany. It reminds me of Danger Days. It reminds me of Danger Days, and I sometimes will, like, when I, like, have a copy of it, because I used to get it from my library, because obviously I can't afford a copy. I used to play Danger Days while reading Umbrella Academy, and it's so crazy. Umbrella Academy, the comic book, is a lot darker. It's a lot more chaotic and gorier. Like, the implications of it, the world, also, the outcome of the world is also different. Like, how the world is different is also a lot more different. They mess up the world way more. The one thing I will say that the show did right was I felt like after Vanya, like, tries to destroy the world once, she just becomes a boring character because she's the amnesia character where they don't remember what they did and everybody's angry at them, but, like, they also feel guilty for getting angry at them because it's like, well, how are you supposed to get angry at a person that doesn't remember what they did, right? It's, like, hard. And Vanya's, like, very, like, I'm not gonna say stupid, it's just she's, like, more of an airhead after, and, like, she loses a lot of grit. And something I really liked about the show and what Elliot Page did with the character, and what they changed about the character is I felt like they changed the character for the good. I felt like he had to face his consequences of his actions, whereas in the comic book, Vanya never does. Vanya does. In the show, Victor does. Victor goes and faces the consequences of his actions. And eventually, and the family grows beyond what happened because they understand where Vanya was coming from when Vanya destroyed everything. And so they're able to forgive Victor. I know it's a little confusing. For those of you who don't know, the actor transitioned to be a male halfway through the series, which I felt like it was like, it wasn't a half bad thing to, like, keep in. I was like, it adds a little texture to the character, you know, like it didn't really bother me. I was like, oh, that's kind of adds something. Trust me, I wanted something is better than nothing with like Vanya, because I felt like Vanya, Gerard never went anywhere with Vanya's character in the comic books, and I feel like what Elliot Page did with the character is a vast improvement. Because at least we had something. Like, something. I liked the love arc. I loved the redemption arc. Them dealing with Ben. And Ben's ghost. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I found very fun about the series. And there's some things that the series, like, replicates from the comics that I'm like, oh, it's very funny. Like, one thing that I remember was when he was describing, when 5 is describing what happens to a person's body when they see their present or their future are existing in the same timeline in too close of a proximity. They recreated the panel almost exactly, and I was like, oh yes, perfect. Thank you. Thank you for recreating that panel, because it's kind of funny that they did that. I was like, oh, you didn't have to do it, but it was funny to me. Okay, now we did that, and we're just gonna break this. And actually, I can blow this. Oh, yeah. But yeah. But leave in the comments if you read Umbrella Academy, and what is your favorite book from, is it Apocalypse, Hotel, what is your favorite storyline, if you did read it? Like, mine is the Vietnam arc. And what Klaus has been up to, in the past. Like, I think it's very fun. That, and then the other one I really liked from it. I love Five's antics. Five's antics are always fun to see the gory moments. But, like, if I had, like, to talk about, like, a story, is the story of, when Rumor goes and she rumors that she wasn't somewhere. She says, oh, I heard a rumor that I wasn't at that place, and accidentally creates a clone of herself. And so it's a detective mystery where she's solving her own murder, which is wild. And I love that about it. I was like, oh, that's actually kind of fun. Like, solving your own murder. Like, I was like, oh, I kind of love that storyline. It was kind of fun to hear it. And I've loved, like, Penny Parker also, for those of you who know, Gerard Way also created Penny Parker, which is the anime Spider-Man. The anime Spider-Man, which I love. That one, she's also a very interesting character. I really enjoy her. I enjoyed that they kind of updated her character, in, like, the newer Spider-Man movie, like, Into the Spider-Verse. Not Into the Spider-Verse, something Spider-Verse. I forgot. What's the second one? I forgot what the name of the second movie is. But, it was like, it was something like that. But, like, I like that they were like, oh, let's update the character. And she just, like, she went from, like, very happy demeanor to, like, her canon event must have happened very recently. I'm like, yeah, solid Penny Parker. Like, I'm a big fan of Gerard Way. I'm so excited because I heard that the Danger Day... the reason why I'm talking so much about Gerard Way is that I heard that the Danger Days album just got a remaster, and the same thing happened with the Black Parade album before they did the tour. So I'm thinking that they're going to do a Danger Days tour, which I'm like, oh, if they do a Danger Days tour, Oh, with everything that happened with the Black Parade tour and is going on with the Black Parade tour because it's still touring. Oh, I can't wait to see what happens. Like, I really can't wait to see Danger Days. I might go. If I have the ability to go, like, if I have the ability to go, it's either go see that or go see Gorillaz. Like, that's on the checklist this year. Like, if I could go see that, or Gorillaz, I would love that. Gorillaz is, like, so fun. And apparently they're gonna have most of the rappers there for this year's Mountain Tour, which I'm like, yay. I wanna see the Mountain Tour. I'm like, I don't know which ones are gonna be out there, so who knows? Snoop Dogg might be there. Because if you guys don't know, Gorillaz is a band that was started by the lead singer of Blur, which is a very track 2 is one of the songs that he did, but he created this band because he wanted to basically do a hip hop meets punk band. He wanted to do a hip hop meets punk band, and so he hired, essentially, the band is a fictional band, but it consists of, I think, 52 now, like, rappers. Because what happens is they interchange the rappers and the singers to play different characters of the Gorillaz. The only one that stays consistent is the lead singer, is always Blur. The lead singer is the lead singer of Blur. But it's so cool to I really want to see it. See the Mountain Tour. Because I think it would be super cool to see it and see the holograms and of the characters in concert. And especially since they started touring recently with the members, with the real members and the actual digital versions. So, like, the fictional band is playing alongside the real band, so it gets very meta. And I love that about it. So, I really highly suggest check out Gorillaz. Gorillaz is fun to listen to. But yeah, I've been getting into more I've been trying to, like, listen to more music. Another thing I've been listening to that I haven't listened to in a long time, speaking of stuff that I haven't listened to in a long time, I've been listening to country music. Anyone who knows me has watched this channel for a long time knows that I am a big fan of older country music. Like, I'm not saying old country, I'm saying, like, most country music up until 2010, roughly around when Taylor Swift left. There was a big shift that happened where, for some reason, everybody decided, yeah, we're no longer gonna tell stories in country music, we're just gonna describe everything in a bar. And, like, use, like, general, like, terms and not actually come up with a story that is intriguing. And I'm like, I felt jaded towards, like, country music for a while because I was like, I was missing stories. I was missing them telling stories. And it just country music just started sounding the same over and over, and I was just, like, getting so disappointed by it that I just stopped listening to country music. I was just like, if every single song, if I hear another song about a truck, I'm gonna scream. I could not listen to another country song where they're describing a truck. And I know I'm not going to go fully into it because of the fact that Bo Burnham has a wonderful comedy special act dedicated to it. And if you want to see that, go see Bo Burnham. Which I heard he's going to be putting out new music this year. And Phoebe Bridgers, his wife Phoebe Bridgers is also putting out new music. So I'm like, I'm excited for that. We need Bo Burnham right now. But yeah, so I'm so excited about country music, getting stories, because like I started listening to it, and early 2010s when Taylor Swift left, it used to be that we had like Drunk on a Plane, we had Time for a Good Time, we had 5 O'Clock Somewhere. I know I'm describing a lot of songs about being drunk places. People Are Crazy, another one about drunk people. But I really appreciated those songs because I really liked the story of the song. You know? Like, Drunk on a Plane. Yeah, your girlfriend, your fiance decided, you know what, we're not gonna be together. I'm not gonna do this wedding, and you couldn't refund the tickets. So you get in that glass champagne and just making it work. You know, I like that story. You know, People Are Crazy. Rich guy goes to a bar, talks to a rich dude. Rich dude hasn't talked with his kids in years. Rich dude dies, decides to leave the guy the money. Because he's like, well, I actually had an actual human conversation with the dude that I had a drink with. Might as well give him my money. I was like, that's a solid story. You know what? I'll take that. And the guy puts a six-pack on his grave, saying, thank you for the millions of dollars. That's a solid story. You know, 5 O'Clock Somewhere. You've had a hard week. You're trying to do stuff. You want to put on some Jimmy Buffett, drink some cold drinks on a boat, and then pretend that it's an acceptable time to do that. And that's a solid song. And Jimmy Buffett happens to be in it. Like, you can't argue with that, you know? Like, I got so, and then there was some, no, I'm not going to say country was devoid of, storytelling entirely. I felt sufficiently refreshed when I heard Luke Combs' When It Rains, It Pours. When It Rains, It Pours, I love it because I love the idea of a guy just getting broken up with by his girlfriend, his toxic girlfriend, and the guy thinking it's the worst thing in the world, and then he goes to the corner store or the 7-Eleven, gets a scratch off, wins the lottery, and then the universe starts rewarding him for losing for his girlfriend, losing his girlfriend that was, he realizes by the end of the song was super toxic. Was super toxic. It was not good for him, because as soon as she hears, oh, I now have money, she actually is oh, I'm sorry I broke up with you, can we get back together? And it's that vibe, and he's nah, I'll go for the Hooters waitress that's gonna meet me around back. I love that vibe. I love the fun, it's a very fun song. It's very enjoyable. I don't know why we started getting, these songs where they were just, I would listen to them and I would be I don't feel anything from this. There's nothing to this. But recently, the artists that I've been listening to are, Lainey Wilson. Lainey Wilson, she has a bunch of really good songs that are stories. You know, I've also listened to, lately, there's this girl, I forgot her name, but she has 2 songs that I can remember. Austin, and she was in Texas. And those songs are actually, like, they're kind of sister songs. And I love them because she's telling the story of the whole thing. She's telling a really good story of, like, Austin. She's moving out, they're moving to a new state. And then she realizes that she packs up all her stuff, everything's ready to go, and she looks and is like, he hasn't even packed up anything. He does not want to be, it doesn't seem like he wants to be around me. And then she gets the confirmation, and she was in Texas. Because she starts seeing that he's doing line dancing, and he's smelling like another woman's perfume, and he is acting differently, and she's like, he found a girl in Texas. That was the reason why we moved. He wanted to get close to his girl in Texas. And I'm like, that's a solid song. Like, it's a solid song. Sure, it sucks, in terms of what happened to her, but I love the story. That actually has a compelling story. Like I said, I miss when country music had compelling stories. Because when they're compelling, they're good. I don't want another boring, like, country song that is just, like, got nothing to say. I'm trying to, like, blow it straight into the vent. Come on. Get me. Oh, I have 127. I just realized. I can, like... Yeah. And then I've also saw discourse online about the song, Austin. Kelly Clarkson covered it, but apparently, the song's more angry, but she covered it more sad. And they didn't like it. And I was like, hey, some people's songs are just, people relate to them very, very differently, you know? You might have a completely different perspective of a song. I've seen some people that, like, a breakup song can sometimes be for, like, a friend. Because, like, sometimes the feelings you feel about, like, losing a friend are very similar to a breakup. So I totally, like, I'm like, I get why people are not happy with how she covered it, but I'm also like, why are we critiquing this? You know? It's someone's interpretation of the song. She just interpreted it more sad. And the original artist interpreted it more angry. But that's nothing against the artist or against Kelly Clarkson. It's just, she just did a different interpretation. You know? She did a different one. Yes. Yes! This reminds me of, The Secret Life of Arietti. Did you guys ever watch that, like, that Studio Ghibli, film? If you did, like, put it in the comments. Like, please tell me in the comments if you did. Because I did. Yeah. Whenever I think of Secret of Arietti, I think of the Tinkerbell books. Those books were dark when you think about them in retrospect. They're very dark in retrospect. Like, they had moments where, like anyone who read I'm talking, like, there's, okay, mass majority of people probably only watched the Tinkerbell films if they were watching it on Disney, right? There's a high likelihood a lot of people did not watch, like, read the book. But I tell you, those books are messed up. There's some messed up stuff in those books. Like, the stuff that some of the fairies get up to, and also some of the things that the fairies, like, that happen to the fairies. One chick gets stuck with half her brain, like, she gets turned into a bat, and then now her brain is, like, didn't fully, like, she turned into a bat, but her brain's, like, still stuck halfway as a bat, and she's, like, losing her mind gradually. You had, like, psychological elements like that. Like, and also, the whole point of the series is also scary. Not scary, but it's, like, also messed up. Because anyone who knows the Tinker Bell books, anyone who watched, the Tinker Bell movies, I'm about to ruin your childhood. So if you do not want to know, why you should be watching the Tinker Bell movies in, like, from a darker point of view, skip this part. But, when I watched those books, I'm like, oh gosh, it's so sad. Because Tinker Bell, the whole point of the books is to show her adventures, but if you know, Tinker Bell, those are past adventures. There's a reason why those adventures stop. Those adventures stop at some point. And the reason why is they all died. All the fairies died. They all died out. Because if you read actually the Peter Pan, if you read Peter Pan, or if you actually listen to the original, the Disney movie, because it's still canon in the Disney movie, Peter Pan mentions that kids have stopped believing in fairies, are starting to stop believing in fairies. And because they're starting to stop believing in fairies, fairies are dying out. And it's heavily implied, like, they're dying out. Because basically, when Tinkerbell is, if you know the stage show version, when Tinkerbell is dying of poison, you are supposed to clap and say you believe in fairies to bring her back to life. So, because that's the only way to keep fairies alive. So, the implication of that is that all her adventures in the Tinker Bell books are her remembering, because they're from, like, they're a narrator perspective, but in my mind, it's her basically telling the story of, like, remembering her friends when they were alive. And just reminiscing on when times were happier and they weren't, like, just dead. Like, that's what I think of the Pixie Hollow books. And what they were. And by the way, if you played the Pixie Hollow games, what was your fairy type? I will tell you mine. I always played as a sparrow. I always played sparrow type. But if I didn't play sparrow type, the other one I would play, Tinker. Tell me, if you did play Pixie Hollow, what was your fairy type? Were you a fawn type? Were you a sun type? Were you a water type? Tell me. I want to know. I want to know what yours. Fast flying fairy? But yeah, so canonically, like, in Peter Pan, Tinkerbell is sassy not because she wants to be sassy towards Wendy. She's just depressed. She's just straight up depressed that her friends are dead. Which is so messed up. And I'm surprised that Film Theory hasn't done a theory on this. I'm like, it's so easy to do. And it's so easy to verify. Like, Like, Tom from Game Theory. Like, if you guys are able to contact Tom from Game Theory, tell him to do the Pixie Hollow fairies, please. That the Pixie Hollow fairies are dead. I will co-sign on that theory if he allows. I would love to participate on that theory because I played the Pixie Hollow games, I read the Pixie Hollow books, and I watched the Pixie Hollow films when I was little. And I have a very strong perspective on it. But yeah, if I had a chance to, like, do a theory with Game Theory. I also have a theory about Invader Zim that I would love to help, to collaborate on with them if I could ever. But, it's about, like, it's about Gur. But yeah, like, I have, like, a theory. I have a bunch of, like, game theories. Like, if I have a bunch of game theories and film theories in my pocket. Mostly film theories. That if I ever had the chance to go and, work for film theory, I would absolutely love to. And I know they say, oh yeah, you could submit them to the film theory, like, forum. They have, like, a Reddit. But I'm like, oh, I would love to do it as a collaboration, though. You know what I mean? Like, because then I could basically dress up. Like, I know that, like, I don't know if that's selfish of me. That I would want to, like, just work with them, like, on one video. I don't know if that's selfish. To be like, oh yeah, that would be super cool to do. And it's such a niche thing. Like, I don't even think they would even, like, cover Pixie Hollow if I even, like, did it. I don't know. Tell me in the comments, if you would, like, love for them to cover, like, a actual, like, Pixie Hollow theory. But yeah, I grew up watching Tinkerbell, and I loved Tinkerbell growing up. And there's a couple of Disney films that are, like, my favorite, my all-time favorites. But in terms of Disney live action, my favorite is Saving Mr. Banks. That one's my favorite. That one's, like, all-time favorite. Like, if I had to choose one Disney film to watch, and I wasn't able to watch any other Disney films, Saving Mr. Banks is the one. It will always be Saving Mr. Banks until someone, proves me otherwise. Like, proves me wrong and finds another film that's better. Like, but Saving Mr. Banks, that is the film for me. That is the film. I love it. For anyone who's not initiated into my favorite film, like, one of my favorite Disney films, Saving Mr. Banks. Saving Mr. Banks is about Walt Disney and him trying to purchase the rights for Mary Poppins. And the process was so hard because the author did not want to relinquish the rights to it. And actually, even during the production of Mary Poppins, he did not hold the rights to Mary Poppins. He was still trying to get them from her. And he was trying to sell her on, you know, oh yeah, it's gonna be fine, you know, the film's gonna look good, this is what it's gonna do, we're using new film technology. And they actually, the film technology, they don't talk about it in the film. I wish they did. They created a special type of green screen that you cannot replicate to this day that is better than any green screen that you'll ever see. So all that CGI and all that stuff, if we could ever be able to replicate it, like, this is technology that's lost to time because the technique, the people that knew about it are dead, essentially. Knew how to make it. Essentially, it's a sodium crystal prism. Films were lit with sodium vapor lights, essentially, that emit one tiny wavelength of color. So it's a very thin wavelength, and it doesn't bounce onto the actor. The light doesn't reflect onto the actor, because a big problem with green screen is you get green bounce, where the green from the canvas will reflect onto the person's hair and face, and making it difficult to color out. And for the and even with blue screen, you still have that problem a bit. And then you also have the problem you can't wear certain outfits because of the fact of the green screen and the blue screen have to be green and blue. And so the big problem became Walt Disney did not want, since Mary Poppins, they wanted her to wear lace and wanted her to wear, this film was going to be live action, partially live action, and they wanted her to basically be able to do everything in live action and not have to, and for it to look very seamless. They wanted everything to look very seamless, everything looked good. So, they created a new technology, the sodium chloride lamp prisms. Essentially, the prism is inside of the camera, and when you basically expose this camera, one half of the image would create a transparency layer, which it makes a black and white version of the mat around the actor. And the other one is the actual footage. And what it would do is it would create a perfect Luma key map. And it was able to do the one thing that green screen and blue screen cannot do. Go through transparent objects. Green screen and blue screen, you often have to edit out. You're not allowed to wear lace, and you're not allowed to wear mesh because anything with lace or mesh, you have to edit it in post because of the fact that the lace would catch the light of the green, and the blue, you could not ever get all the blue out of it. Same thing happens with hair lights. So, essentially, her hair could look however she needs it to be, and you could even see in the shots, she's wearing lace in some of the shots, and she's wearing a mesh hat, and you could see through it. The transparency is perfect, but that technology doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately, because it was lost to time. That crystal was hard to make, was difficult to make. They don't make it anymore. I wish they could, because I'm thinking, for me, I'm like, if they kept that technique, right? If they were able to do it once, right? And they were able to create it, especially with the advancements with lab-grown diamonds and lab-grown sapphires and lab-grown crystals, it would be really cool to see if they could recreate that ever. But if anybody does, they would make millions. Because the fact that green screen and blue screen is so inefficient, the only reason why people haven't gone out and recreated this technology is because essentially you would have to recreate it from scratch, which would be an expensive process. And since blue screen and green screen is so prevalent already, most people wouldn't think to do it. But I would love for somebody to recreate that. Because if somebody could, I would be mystified. Because that is an achievement, if you can. And not just like a scientific achievement or achievement for mankind. It's like, that is basically a major improvement on film that no one can get back. Oh, I forgot to put the bag through the hoop. Well, let's go through the vent. Now, if you got to this part of the video, I want you to type, "She vented!" Because I have no way of knowing how much of this video you watched. I only know, like, yeah, I only get triangles. Or you can type, "She's in the vents!" I would love that too. Okay, let's go in here. Going. Well, salut. All right, let's see. Yo, we're plant people. They made plant clones. Yo, I love this twist. It's really fun. And it was the squirrels the entire time. Yes! Yo. Yay! Honestly, not my best run. I tried to get more money from this, but obviously I was like, I didn't want to go for too long, so I was like, okay. But I did do it faster. So, I succeeded in that regard. Thank you guys for watching. I had fun playing this. If you have another cozy game you would like me to play, please tell me it. Please tell me in the comments. If you got to the end of this video, please, let me know. You can say plat people. I will see you guys next time. I don't know with what video because I'm doing these out of order. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful day. And see ya.